أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه أجمعين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي صدق الله العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And all praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow His choicest blessings on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yes, and welcome to the Malay Cultural Heritage Day. And my name is Fakhri Hassan, and I would like to welcome everybody on behalf of the Cultural Heritage Program. As you can see around you, we have many people that contributed to the program, and one of it is the Indonesian Embassy, and we would like to call upon John Arapurba. He's the Vice Consul of the Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia, and also, of course, representing part of the Malayu archipelago and tradition. So I'm going to call on John to please come up, and he's going to address us for a few minutes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to our gracious Allah for blessing us with this chance to meet on this auspicious day, the annual Cape Malay Heritage Day 2016. And secondly, I would also like to convey my appreciation for the invitation we received, and we believe this event serves to strengthen the cordial relationship between Indonesia and South Africa, and especially as a token of brotherhood between the people of the Cape Malay with Indonesia as their ancestral land. My brothers and sisters, around 700,000 of the 3.7 million residents of Cape Town are estimated to be Muslims, most of which are the Cape Malays. With the largest portions of them are descendants of the people of the East Indies. One of them are the Dutch East Indies, which today become Indonesia. And most of our forefathers who come from the Dutch East Indies came to Cape Town as exiled political prisoners or, unfortunately, forced laborers. Sheikh Yusuf al-Makassari al-Bantami, for one, is an ardent opponent of the Dutch occupation. The Sheikh was fighting along with Sultan Agung Tirtayasa of today's province of Banten when the Dutch colonial authority captured and banished him finally to Ceylon and then to Makassar in Cape Town. Another well-known figure is Tuan Guru, born Abdullah bin Kadi Abdul Salam, who was exiled from his homelands of Tidore and Ternate and reside here in Bukap in Cape Town for organizing the resistance against the Dutch colonization. Tuan Guru himself was jailed for 13 years in Robben Island before being released and finally resided in Bukap. Then there are also the lesser-known Priest Cakradiningrat IV from Madura in today's province of East Java, better known as Shah Moturu, who was jailed for 12 years in Robben Island, and also Sheikh Padang, even lesser known, whose humble kramat is located here in Constantia, as well as several others from Indonesia. Finally, I would like to thank each and every one of us here who come here today, and I hope we can use this opportunity as a means to preserve our heritage and to strengthen our bonds. Terima kasih, syukran, baidangki, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The next item on the agenda is the Madura group. So, the pinning, I was corrected, the pinning of Maduras, and it will be by Zeynep van der Skeef and from Kiraz Gear and Makeup Artistry. So please proceed.
Now, it's just this off. Now I'm going to do the work and show you how it's being done. And you keep the pins for me. Okay, it's being done with pins, straight pins. And I'm showing you now that we put this little bucky on maybe, because now we want maybe a crown effect. We put some pins in, so that it can stay on the head and not move. Here we go. Obviously, this must be covered, so we'll cover it with a piece of cloth. Sometimes I use cotton fabric, just to get it all in. But you have the form now, no? The form is very important. Let me just get that, no? And then the big ones. I use the big pins, always the crystal pins for the back, so that it can hold the back of the scarf. I think I can work better than talking now. We just go work and roll it up so that all the scarf fabric is worked away. Always see that everything should look according. It's all to do with straight pins, eh? There we go. Okay, that's it. Now the Medora, we normally just use the border of the Medora to frame the green. So I want green now. So now I'll frame the scarf. Here we go. And pins. It's always about pins. Huh? Here we go. Normally I have a mirror in front of me, then I can see what is happening. But now we don't have a mirror. It must be my mirror. Here we go.
The modeling show is going to be the Islamic casual wear from Face of Malayu ladies, and I would like to introduce Nadima. Please make your...
And you've got Parker.
This is the casualty French. Please give him a round of applause. So the first face of Malayu was Nashia Sali, second was Mariam Majid, and third myself, Mariam Ahidin. So today we'll be choosing the 4th annual Face of Malayu. Oh, so for the program for today, we have the modeling shows, we have the various nasheed evenings, and then we'll be having the contest for the ladies that will be answering questions based on the Malayo culture and things that they have made contributions to in the community. So the project, The Face of Malayo, is about reviving and embracing the Malay culture here in the Cape, because we don't know much about our culture. We are very losing touch with our roots. So for the word Buddha, we use this as a sign of respect, but we don't actually know what this means. So back in the day, when the slaves were put in imprisonment and then they were enclosed in a dark space, pitch black, you couldn't put your hand up in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see anything. So they were released in summer, and when they were released immediately then, they were released in the summertime, so the sun was bright, and when they were released, the light was so blinding that they would immediately become blind, and this is where the word Buddha came from. So they would call this person Buddha, but we don't even know what the word means. We use it today as a sign of respect. You call someone Buddha as a sign of respect, but we actually don't know where the word has came from. So this project is about reviving the culture here in the Cape, and it's a very interesting thing. So as my reign of being Face of Malayo for 2015, 2016, I've had so much experience for the past year. It's been crazy. I've been on ITV, I've been on the radio, I've been in the magazine, I've been in the newspaper, so much exposure, alhamdulillah. And I just thank Anu Nadima and Pak Hartley and Pak Hilmi for giving me this opportunity to be the Face of Malayo. So next on the program, I think the goals are changing and we'll have another modeling show. Shukran so much. Terima kasih.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is the 24th of September, and as we know, South Africa is celebrating Heritage Day. Indeed, Cape Town has a very rich heritage, brimming with diversity and a very rich cultural history. Today, us at ITV are joined here with the Face of Malayo in Constantia, and we're here to share with the rest of South Africa exactly what Cape Town has to offer. We will be speaking to some of the participants here today just to basically understand what heritage means to them. With me now I have Mr. Hilmi Hartley, who is the chairperson of the Malayan Heritage Society. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Hilmi.
Walaikum salam. Selamat datang di Cape Town.
Mr. Hilmi, can you tell me what does heritage mean to you?
Heritage is important for everybody, no matter who or she is, because if you don't have your roots settled, you don't really have a future. So without roots or heritage, you're almost like a non-person, because you grow up within a family. It teaches you discipline, it teaches the Deen of Islam, and that is part of the heritage also. So we came here as Muslims, and that was way back in 1600. That's our forebears. And I think we were the first Muslims to actually practice Islam at the most southern tip of Africa 350 years ago. So heritage is important to know about our forebears and what they had to go through to bring Islam to Cape Town.
Can you tell us more about the cultural food in Cape Town and where is it derived from?
For me, the cultural food in Cape Town is mostly coming from our forefathers and my parents, and what they taught us to eat, what they've given us to eat. And we grew up with breedies and biryanis and aknis and curries, the traditional stuff, and with the roast and the chicken and all that. But the breedies, I would say, is mostly cultural, the blomkool and the kool frikadel, and then also the tomato food. That's a very popular food as well. And where it all comes from is it's basically what our forefathers taught us, what our grandparents given my parents to eat and cook for them, and they've given it on to us, and now hopefully I'm giving it on to my children, passing it on from generation to generation, all the breedies and the curries and the biryanis.
And why have you chosen the bobotie recipe specifically today? For what is the significance of it being Heritage Day?
For me, the significance is it's such a multicultural dish. It's from the time of the Dutch, that the Dutch came to Cape Town and they brought it like plain, and then the Malaysians, Indonesians and Javas came with the spices, and we made it uniquely our own. And I think it's such a It's like the Rainbow Nation. You get such a variety of boboties as well. So each nation or each culture in Cape Town's got its own way of making it. And for me, the spices, that's what makes it uniquely Cape Malay.
Well, my participation for the year has been amazing. I've been to the radio station, I've been on ITV, I've been in the newspaper, I've been in the magazine, I've been exposed to a lot of public speaking. Alhamdulillah, it was a very, 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 very interesting year.
Alhamdulillah. And what type of projects did you work on with the Face of Malayo?
We went into the orphanages, we would spend our days there, we went to the old age homes, we do things like that, getting involved within the community, teaching girls about culture, inviting them over so that it's different diverse cultures are mixed.
Alhamdulillah. And Mariam, can you tell me, why is it important for the youth, or why do you think is it important for the youth to get involved in events like this?
I think it's very important for the youth to get involved in events like this because it's important for the youth to be involved in their culture, to know where they come from, to know their roots. It's very, very important to tap into your roots because at the end of the day, it's where you came from is what matters the most.
Khadija, can you tell us, what does heritage and culture mean to you?
Heritage and culture means to me about my heritage and what my forefathers has, taught me, and it's about traditions and, from where I came from.
Okay, lovely. And if you are chosen as a winner here today, and you hopefully are, because you look lovely, what would your role be for the year here?
It's mostly about being an ambassador of, of heritage and culture, and yeah, that's about it. And you go to different places and you meet different people, and it's all about interacting and things like that.
Okay, lovely. Well, I wish you all the best for that, inshallah. And lastly, can you give a message to the youth out there?
I would say that do not forget your traditions or where you came from, because your forefathers, there's lots of wisdom in that messages, so don't forget that, inshallah.
Inshallah. Shukran so much. Mr. Wahi, can you tell me, what does heritage mean to you?
Heritage means to me is to preserve my culture. And I think that is heritage you can have in education, you can have it in buildings and so on. But in our culture, most of all, I think that is what we want to preserve through heritage.
And how can we celebrate it here and be proud of it?
Well, as you can see around today, this is what we brought together, is to bring all the Malayo people to come and see some photo displays of yesteryear, and also to see most of these artifacts that we brought along, like the red face, where it comes from, how sometimes borrowed culture, which was a red face, was actually a borrowed culture, but becomes such a significant symbol on the head of the Malay later on, which was only from the 1800s. And these are things that was brought in, but I mean, we adopted it, and it became part of our life. So I think bringing the people together on this day of heritage is more to inform them about where we come from and what was our culture, basically. Yeah.
And can you explain to us about the traditional headgear, the Midora?
Yeah, I think the Midora is actually a Malayo word itself also, and it came from Java, where people has used this as a means of a headgear for weddings, basically, but also it was also used for the birth of a child. But I think when it was used, when they put it around a cushion, they also added some flowers around. And this was basically to take away, when the people comes and look at the baby, they first see this and it takes away the hazard, the jealousy. So basically it was used for that. People from Mecca also used to put it on. And they also use it when they go to weddings, when they're taking the bride from the reception to the room, and they dressed up with this. So it has a significant effect in the tradition as well.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. With me now I have Mr. Riyadi Asruddin, the Acting Consul General of the Indonesian Consulate in Cape Town, South Africa. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Good. Yes.
Can you tell us more about what do you think is the importance of having the Face of Malayo event here today?
Well, the event that we can see this is very good for us to see that our roots, especially in Indonesia and Malaysia, to know about what is that we can see people here, what can witness, that we have a very strong link, between people here in South Africa, especially the Cape Malay, with the also people from Indonesia and Malaysia. Yes.
And what can you tell us more about the relationship between Indonesia and South Africa?
Well, if you are talking about the relationship between Indonesia and South Africa, it already come from long time ago, with the coming of our people here, sent 2 or 3 centuries ago. But if we can witness, for example, for the last 30 or 40 years ago, you can see that people from South Africa came to Indonesia to attend the Asian African Conference in 1955. But with regard of the current situation, I think that we can see that between Indonesia and South Africa, we are very strong ties in the strategic partnership.
Mr. Fakhri, can you tell me what impact does Heritage Day or heritage have on today's society, especially the youth?
Alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you for the opportunity. Yes, as I spoke earlier to you, what we saw in society, or at least when looking at the youth today, they're losing their culture, right? So the question was, how do we address this? And so for many years, Haji Abdullah, Vakhi and myself, we were discussing how could we remind the youth of their rich past, and I always use this maxim as a starting point. I say, if you as an individual do not know your past, you cannot inform your present, and your future will be neither here nor there. And we see it in the youth today. They've got no identity. So therefore, for icons and for value systems, they take it from the West. And you've been here for now the whole morning. You see the rich heritage, rich culture that we have here, Farah. So the thing is, we then decided we need to do something, and then of course the Heritage Day, it was never a society or an organization. It was just we envisaged this cultural Heritage Day to bring people together, to remind them of the rich history, the tapestry of which we see all around us. It's ingrained in the architecture, it's ingrained in the cuisine, that we have here today. It's ingrained in the way we dress. It's in the very value systems. So we want to remind the youth that, your forebears, if it wasn't for your forebears, you yourself wouldn't have had this particularly unique identity.
And can you tell us more about the research that you've done on the local Malay heritage?
So far, I wrote a few papers on local knowledge, but one of my papers is on the Cape Malays, on Abdullah Wagi and what he told me, and how he connects his past with how he was brought up and the values that his father retains teaches in the growing up as a Malay. So now I'm trying to make some short documentaries or short videos about the Heritage Day and probably other history of the Cape Malays that I can find here.
Alhamdulillah, and I wish you all the success with that, inshallah. And how do you find South African Malay people embracing their heritage?
It's quite fascinating because even though they are far and seems like disconnected, but they have more history and they are more Malay in fact than our Malays here, because we also try to retain and preserve our own heritage, but not as passionate as the Cape Malays here. I think that's a good thing to appreciate.
Alhamdulillah, we've had a wonderful day here today at the Face of Malay Heritage Day event. And yes, not only has it been a day filled with excitement and lots of fun, it's also been a day where we leave here having a deeper understanding and appreciation for the rich heritage here in the Cape. Shukran for joining us, and we hope to be here next year. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك، الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك، هدي وارتاح ثابر واطمح من حقك، بس بلاش العين. لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك، الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح ثابر واطمح من حقك.